How is the coronavirus impacting the real estate market? This is Gary Davidson, and this is the voice of Castle Law, where we're here to help you create that life worth living, career worth having, business worth owning, and legacy worth leaving. You know, I've been talking to a lot of my hedge fund operators, private equity groups, high net worth individuals, and we all see the various market conditions that are changing. The stock market's in flux. And what happens when high net worth people begin to be scared of what's happening in the stock market? They're going to start investing in tangible hard assets. They're going to start investing in real estate. Those sorts of opportunities and those sorts of shifts and movements in the real estate market create opportunities for you to become more competitive and take advantage and get that edge. So today I have Tommy Schrey. Tommy Schrey is the director of all things important at Clickinvest. And Tommy, I want to talk a little bit about what those market dynamics are doing and causing, and more importantly, what Clickinvest is doing to create a concierge service such that an investor can get a high return on, what's the word?
Return on equity.
Return on equity. We all hear about ROI, but today we're going to talk about return on equity. So, Tommy, welcome. Glad to have you. You're a very close personal friend. You're a client. You're a business associate, and you are helping transform lives in the Chicagoland area. What's going on out there?
Well, thanks, Gary. I appreciate that. So what we're seeing is a shift in the marketplace, obviously. So with the coronavirus, obviously at top of mind for everybody, and the downturn in the investment market with the downturn industrials and the investment in the marketplace and the fall in the marketplace over the last few weeks, and everybody freaking out over that. There's a big shift now with institutional investors looking to place their money elsewhere. And like you just said, in hard, tangible assets, there's a big shift towards real estate, hard assets and real estate. So that's good for us because we're in that space. We're finding that institutional investors are now moving towards that space. And what they're looking for is a return on their investment, but not in the way of ROI, which is the traditional sense that people are looking at, but they're looking at ROE, return on equity, or what we would consider like down payment or skin in the game.
So take me through what that means.
So the difference between ROI and ROE really is ROI was always based on a cash investor. So when somebody would buy a property for $100,000, put $50,000 in the deal, and they would have $150,000 total in the deal, and let's say they made $30,000 on that property, their ROI was 20%. $30,000 in profit on $150,000 total invested. That was a 20% ROI. Well, now people are borrowing money from banks and other institutions, and that same investment, $150,000 purchase plus $50,000 rehab, there are investor institutions, banks that will loan you, let's say 15%. You only have to put 15% down or skin in the game on the $100,000 purchase, and they'll give you 100% financing on the rehab.
So wait just a second. So $100,000, the bank's lending $85,000. You're only bringing in 15.
All your skin in the game is only $15,000 or 15% of the purchase. The $85,000 the bank is loaning you on the purchase, and then the $50,000 rehab, they're going to give you 100% of that. So all you have in the way of skin in the game is $15,000. So your equity is only $15,000. So now on that same transaction, you make $30,000 profit.
That's like 200%.
That is 200%. So what's a better investment? What's a better return on investment? 200% or the 20% on the traditional ROI model?
And this is something that you and Clickinvest are helping people get a firm understanding and doing a deep dive of when they contact you. You know, one of the things that I found very awesome about what Rosario and Jeff and you have going over at Clickinvest is many of my clients aren't doing real estate as a full-time job. Maybe they work downtown. Maybe they're on the board of trade. Maybe they're a physician. Maybe they're a lawyer. And you actually provide a concierge service. In other words, what's some of the things that make us unsafe as an investor? We all want to invest in real estate. We all want to make money. We go out and we find a lawyer. We go out and find a broker. But then we have this asset and we have no idea whether fixing the toilet is $10 or $200. We have no idea how to manage that property. We have no idea how to make sure whether the rehab should take 5 days or 6 months. And you have assembled a team where someone can actively invest in real estate but do so passively. So How does this work?
Oh, what we put together at Clickinvest is not only a sourcing platform where we analyze thousands of properties every single day, all day long. And then what we develop for our clients in essence is a buy box where we will find them the exact property that meets their investment criteria based on what they want their returns to be. Okay. And based on that, we will find those properties and then we will manage the entire rehab process for them. And really what they end up doing is all they have to do is turn on the utilities, put the utilities in their name, and we will manage the construction for them all the way through the end. And then if it's a flip, for example, we will even list the property for them and sell it for them out the back end. So it's really completely turnkey and passive investing, especially for the very busy professionals. So we have attorneys, we have doctors, we have very busy professionals who want to deploy their holdings, their capital in other investment vehicles where they can find a better return that's safe, that's based on tangible hard assets that they're going to get a good return on.
And that's so great because I know for so many of the business owners that I represent, we have 12,000 or so people who are subscribers to our podcast. Many of them are not necessarily involved in the real estate business. They are people who own businesses. We represent companies and they want to get involved in real estate, but people don't know where to start. And very quickly they get overwhelmed. I mean, many people, most people have always thought about investing in real estate. But when you start getting into it, you realize I wanted this to be passive. I wanted this to help me create my life worth living. And they all of a sudden soon realize that all they did was they signed up for a second job. And they can't have that life worth living that we so want to have. So with Clickinvest, you've put all of that together so that someone can be a passive investor, stand on the sidelines, and help you manage the project because your team, I know Rosario, you guys have invested in hundreds and hundreds of different properties in your lifetime. So you know all the mistakes and you've basically gone out and you've secured the most reliable, best team members so that we mitigate our risk and we maximize our return.
Yeah, we built an entire ecosystem around this platform so that we have every part of the puzzle put in place so that when a client enters the system, we're walking them through the entire platform all the way through from cradle to grave in essence. And what's interesting about it too is we have clients who will use, for example, a self-directed IRA so they can leverage their investment dollars. So for example, instead of taking $100,000 and putting $100,000 cash into one property and then making, let's say, a $20,000 return on one property, they could take that $100,000 and put $10,000 down on one property and make $20,000 on that one. Take another $10,000 and put it down on another property, leveraging bank loans from different lending institutions, and they could do that 10 times or 5 times, let's say, depending on their capacity. So you can leverage that money, and you can imagine how that exponentially then grows that investment for you. So it's all about leveraging.
That's just what I was going to say. It's truly all about leveraging, and you could spend the next 5 years going out and trying to find title companies, attorneys, contractors, management companies. But what you've done with all of your, put together, guys probably have, decades and decades of experience. and you've made the mistakes with the wrong contractors and you've assembled the right team. So guys, in real estate and investing, we need to do two things. We need to minimize our risk and we need to maximize our return. Clickinvest has that program to help you minimize that risk and maximize your return. Get a hold of Tommy. He's Clickinvest. His information is right here below. This is Gary Davidson. I'm the voice of Castle Law. We're here to help you create that career worth having, that life worth living, and that legacy worth leaving.